We are just getting prepared. Okay, let's see. And hello, welcome to week 2. I'm doing a 7-week laying out the business very simply to us all, just going over the basics, over the 101s, things that if you've been in this business for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're just beginning and you're watching this today or the recording, it's just some really simple tips for myself. My name is Alasa Tiernan, and I've been working with doTERRA for 5 years now. I would say for 3 years haven't been officially been doing the business part-time, and more recently have jumped into more full-time. So I'm giving you my tips and tricks, things that I've learned along the way, mistakes I've made, things that I've upgraded on, and I'm continuing to learn and up-level myself, because in this business, it's more about your willingness to be human and to go with the flow of learning about yourself and finding out where you might have a block, and be willing to, with your strength and your confidence, go right towards that and master it, figure out how to master it. So today's topic is sampling and inviting. And it says on the bottom here, that we want to give them an experience, and we want to qualify our people with a sample. So if they don't have a sample, then they are considered not qualified. So you might hear a leader say, did you qualify the people you invited? And that meant, did you get them an experience? Did you get them a sample? Did you talk to them? Some sort of personal connection that really got them to cross the line and even want to come. So launch and maintain your business. To begin, to know who to invite, we want to do our hundreds name list. And the hundreds names list is found in the build guide at sharesuccess.com. A lot of us have already done this, so a lot of this will be some recapping, but this is also to remind those who are watching who have been in this business a while that this type of offering that I'm giving here is for you to be able to know how to duplicate and share to your new leaders. So that hundreds names list, those are people you're inviting through the year. They're not people that you're going to invite right away. You might choose 35 to 45 as it suggests in the launch guide to send out invitations to. But you have to remember, the more personal your invitation is, the more you will actually get them to attend. So can you personally talk to 45 people, before a class that's happening in a week? You could send out handwritten invitations. That would work. That's more personal. But just creating an event and then inviting those 45 people and expecting them all to attend typically doesn't happen. They need a personal connection, a personal invite from you. Whether that's a phone call, we are in the days of texting, that does happen, but it has to really go into some depth, very personal content. It can't just be, hey, can you come to this class? As well as, like I said, a handwritten invitation are awesome. And when you get your kit in a box, they actually give you really pretty handwritten opportunities with invitations. So you write out your hundreds names. Those are people that you can think of right off the top in your warm market, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your community members, and then it goes into your not so, like talking about service people, and then people maybe you are really not thinking that you would think about, and they pop up in your mind and you write them down on that hundreds names list. Other wonderful ways to launch and maintain your business is to follow up after you do that build guide hundreds names list and you set your goal, your obtainable goal, your SMART goal. You then go to your 12-step strategy and you look at the launch guide, where it literally breaks down 12 steps on how to launch this business in a very duplicatable method, meaning many leaders in this business and network marketing businesses in general have used these 12 steps. So they're nothing, brand new. It's worked for, probably I would say multiple thousands of people who are network marketing professionals. So why don't we want to stick with what already works. We are in some new times, so we didn't have Facebook possibly, some of the MLM network marketers didn't have Facebook so much in the past, but in the recent past, they have mastered it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a new way to launch a Facebook invite at the end of this presentation. So how to find samples or make samples. So I want to just go over the basics, right? doTERRA back office, your personal back office. When you go to do your monthly order, you can pop in there they have two different types. They have a lemon lavender peppermint blend, and they have, and you see my card falls out. We would possibly want to tape that, but we also have the other set that they give you, which is Digest and On Guard and Breathe. And those are the top 6 oils in doTERRA. And that's why they made them into samples. They have little instructions inside. So it's really nice. They tell you how to use them. And, it's really awesome. You'll want to make sure that, like I said, tape your business card to it so that they know, remember that you gave it to them. And you want to also make sure that it has, that you're going to contact them in 3 days. So we have also an extra sheet that we could tie in there. This is my 4th sheet of paper that I give them, number 1, to use it on their foot, AM and PM. That's the simplest method I suggest, so that someone really has an experience that they can attest to. They felt the difference, is that if you have them put a drop or two to the sole of the foot, if they're using this type of sample, the little vials, little drams, or if you had made personal roll-ons, you could tell them to roll it onto their foot in your instructions, AM and PM, and do it for 3 days, and to let them know on your little 4th sheet of paper that says, I will be contacting you. So you say it to them as you hand it to them, and you let them know several different ways on a piece of paper that goes with it. And I even like to text them right away, and I get their text right there. and I say, I'm going to text you a picture of my business card and then text you these instructions so that you don't lose it. So those are one way, getting those little 3 packs. They come with 10 of those 3 basic oils, lemon, lavender, peppermint, or they come with a 10-pack of the On Guard, Breathe, and Digest Zen. The next way is, like I said, you could get roll-ons. I like going to Amazon to get them bulk, but you could also go to Aroma Tools. That's a great place. And some of these new companies online are awesome. I know Kay showed me yesterday how maybe you could put in the chat box, Kay, what company that was that has the Serenity sample kits that they're giving away now. That would be an awesome tip. And you can get those 5 to 10 milliliter roll-ons. If they're the 5 milliliter, you know, I do about 10 drops for an adult, and I top it up with the carrier oil. And even when I get the 10 milliliter roll-ons, I still only fill it up halfway, and I do 10 drops. That way, they have a good experience with that oil, and you're not giving them so much that you're diminished or depleting your supply, and you know, you're giving them just enough to have that great experience. And that way they can, you know, at the end of that half of that 10 milliliter roll-on, they can call you and say, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get the oils. The other thing you can do is you can get on Amazon, Aroma Tools, and also get the little drams. Those are where you would put the straight essential oil and not necessarily put them into put a carrier oil, although some of the drams are bigger and you could put a carrier oil to top them off to give them more, to last them longer. But I like with the drams to do straight oil so they have a real experience in case they want to put a drop under their tongue. And you know, if they did want to make it go a longer way, they could mix it with a carrier oil. You would explain to them how to, you know, get that to come out. I don't like the drams for this reason, because some of the oils are really hard to get out of those drams. I prefer the roll-ons, or like I said, go to your back office and get the already made doTERRA little single oils or blends. Also, is you sample what you have. You know, when you're just beginning this business, or if you guys are educating your new leaders who are coming to this business. Let's see, I think Kay had wanted to tell us. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so shareoils.com is where you can get those awesome like kits of samples. Like they have a Serenity, how we did it. If you saw that I did that Serenity sample or study, I had to go ahead and create the little roll-ons, and I actually reached out to several of you to get some extra caps of Serenity Herbal Blend. And what this oil company that Kay just said, shareoils.com, they actually make little pretty purple pouches. They have pretty stickers already written up that say the Serenity capsules, say the Serenity oil. So it's just got a lot of better of presentation. And, you know, presentation means a lot. When people open that package of a sample that you sent them, they could just feel overjoyed. Like, I can't believe how beautiful this is. And they can see and feel the thought and care that went into it. So coming back to sample what you have, meaning you're just beginning this business or you're educating a new builder, you know, if they only can afford bergamot, great. Help them out, help your new leader out, and give them maybe some roll-ons or some drams and have them make samples of bergamot, because then they're really speaking to an experienced oil, something they are currently using. And, you know, they might not have like the means or the funds just yet to buy a whole set of oils. Hopefully they will, but, you know, if they have a limited amount of oils to choose from to sample, say, hey, why don't you just sample that? The other idea is that, let's say you're a brand new leader, builder, and you only wanted to start on the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and you only wanted to start on a supplement, or you only wanted to start off on Digest and TERRA enzymes. You could get little baggies. If you are on my team and you're watching this, I have tons of them, hundreds of them, 8 from my grandfather, and they're all sterile and they're small, and you literally can put samples of the supplements in those little baggies, label them, and tell them how to use them for 3 days. That's another wonderful way to sample the supplements. Awesome. The other thing I have on here is to make a graphic, like I said, You can just take a picture of your business card and put it into your phone. To have your business card like a graphic, or make a graphic. I love a new program called Over, OVER, and I make graphics from there all the time. So you could make a graphic of your business card so that you easily can text it to somebody rather than having them lose your business card when you hand them the sample. Why not have it in your phone and not even give them a business card? Literally say, okay, what's your cell phone number? And you text them the graphic of how to use the essential oil for 3 days straight on their foot. If that's the way you're going to tell them to do it, I suggest that. And on there, on that graphic, you can say, I'm going to contact you within 3 days to see how it's going. And on that graphic is a business card. Wouldn't that be awesome that they got that pretty graphic? And then you, on the other hand, have their text number. You have their cell phone number now. So you've already started communicating with them in that way, and you're much more apt to get them to respond to you in 3 days. You develop a relationship right away. Dilution, I like to text this graphic, this quick light dilution guide, to moms, especially if I give them a dram, the small drams that come in like a little doTERRA. I like that way, if they want to, take those drops and dilute it, they have something to go off of. Or let's say a brand new customer, they were already speaking to, definitely gets a set of oils. I love texting them this dilution chart. If not, have it on your phone handy so that you easily can share it with someone in the future when they go to question you about, oh my gosh, I need to make, a roll-on for my 6-year-old. What do I do? Help them know how to dilute it. Sample with a purpose. Okay, so sample with a purpose of an appointment, right? What if you, rather than just say, I'm going to reach out to you in 3 days, what if you say, okay, let's go ahead and set up, can I call you on Monday, which would be 3 days out? Can I call you Monday at 10 to go ahead and just ask how it's going? And they say yes, or they say no, I'm busy, okay, how about 11, or how about lunchtime? And you right then at the sample, create that appointment of when you're going to talk again in 3 days. And I'll even say 1 to 3 days, because sometimes you might just feel like they need assistance right away. And you can let them know, look, I know you're kind of wondering about this. Let me check with you tomorrow at 1 and see how it went using your oil on your kids in the morning. So always, Charlie brought this up, always create an appointment. It's much more easier to facilitate this business from start to enrollment and beyond if you, at every time you talk to somebody, never end the conversation without an appointment, without a respectable, meaning, hey, I'm asking you, hey, you're responding with a yes, and now we have this communication and we have this connection and we have an appointment. So we know we're going to talk, and it's not just, I've been there where you're nervous and you're just beginning and you're like, oh, I don't want them to tell me no, so I'll just say, hey, I'll contact you in 3 days. Instead, if you get that appointment, it's locked in, to a level, but then you both know you're going to talk about it in the future, and it gets rid of all of that anxiety. And I also say on this slide, as well as bring some other samples that will inspire them for more. If you're intuitive, like tune in. What else do you think that their family needs that you could bring out with you in the morning? Like having these little doTERRA little cases, sample cases, are awesome. I literally put all the oils that are most common in my purse so that if I'm in the grocery aisle or I'm at the park, that I easily have the most common oils that most people need, especially kids and families, like lavender for cuts and scrapes, melaleuca, On Guard, right, if they're not feeling well, or hand sanitizing after playing at the park. Think about what's commonly needed when you're out and about and have them with you, as well as, that way you have extra samples at appointments to inspire your new customers or your prospects to other products than what they were coming to you for. Like if they're just coming to you because they're experiencing some throat discomfort, but that they probably could really love wild orange, why not bring them both or have both on you? The Modern Essentials book or app, look up a remedy for them as well as show them how to do it and do that with you. It's much more, you're going to really start off on the right foot with people if you empower them and you don't just give them everything. Like if you say, hey, why don't you download this app? But It's awesome because you can look up anything. But right now, I'll go ahead and take a picture of the page for throat discomfort and text it to you so you can see what the book looks like. Isn't this awesome? And this is how you use this page. I do that all the time. And a lot of time, people get the app right away because they really are invested in wellness and they want to have the answers as quick as I did for them. And then other times people, take a little bit to actually get that app or book. But let's encourage them right away. When you sample, let them know how valuable these are to you, like hold them to your chest for a minute and just say, now these are my family's personal supply. And for me, that is truth. So speak only truth. And I'm just letting you know they mean a lot to me and they're valuable. And I am giving this to you if you're going to use it. Are you really going to use it? How I'm describing to you? Awesome. And great. Let's talk in 1 to 3 days. How about tomorrow at noon? Since you're, just brand new to this, I want to make sure you used it right tomorrow morning when you use it on your children, something like that. Send them a graphic of the instructions and a textable business card, like I already told you, and then give them clear instructions how to use that sample. If you're using the doTERRA back office ones, they definitely have instructions in there, but you still want to clearly go over it with them. If you can think about yourself, how many times do you get something, especially a sample at like a grocery store? Do you really maybe read the whole thing? I don't. And I'm being real with you. So hearing it from somebody, and then when I have that question, I'm at home, I'm like, oh, let me read this if I have a question. And then again, I'm going to have those words ringing in my ear that what the person that sampled me said. 1 to 3 day follow-up call. We talked a lot about that. And that's when you're setting it up. But when you're actually on the phone call, what should you do? You want to talk about how did it go, right? How did it go? Simple question, and be willing to be quiet. Be willing to just sit there for a minute and not try to like rush in and try to say, some sort of subconscious sabotage that we can do. And what I'm speaking is, if you notice that you have a hard time giving people space to feel into a question that you're giving to them and you immediately kind of answer for them. I'm one person that has this. I work on it a lot. But give them space to have an answer for your questions. Remind them about consistency. If they said, oh, nothing happened, and you're like, well, did you use it for the 3 days? No, I used it once. And you can just, remind them, well, look, these oils have a cumulative effect. Memorize that. It has a cumulative effect, meaning each day builds upon the next. If they're dealing with something that's, in one area of their body or systemic or chronic, then of course it's going to take a while if it's systemic or if it's chronic, meaning it's in their whole body or they've had it a long time. And even if it's something they just picked up, a lot of times your body, you could pick up some sort of bacteria that your body doesn't love to have inside of it. And your body's so smart that it just goes ahead and like encapsulates it. So the oils come in and they start to break open any of those encapsulations, and all of a sudden things start to come out beyond what they may have thought to get rid of. So they are cleansing sometimes what's currently going on and many years ago, things that are going on, and getting your body back into the right environment so that your body can heal itself. So consistency is key. And always remind them, if they're using it to their foot, to still smell the oil, because the oils have a huge effect emotionally when we smell them. So they may really be craving emotional support, even though they told you they want to work on diet, on their pancreas health. So reminding them to smell that oil will also start to help them learn to be more emotionally stable. Go over the methods of application again on the phone when you call them up. Remind them about a class. And let me back up. So when you're doing the methods of application, that's again describing to them, hey, I really also want you to smell this. You might give them another way. You might have only told them about rolling it onto their foot, but now you're open to going deeper. You don't want to verbally fire hose people, give them way too much information at each interaction. So that very first interaction of a sample, be simple, be concise, speak to exactly what they're wanting to know about, and say, let's talk again. And then each time you're talking, you're giving them a little bit more. I definitely work on this. I want to fire hose them. I want to give them everything I have because I'm a big hearted person and I don't want to leave anything out. So sometimes that can, work against what my goal is, which is to empower them and to get them all the information. So it's really important to make it bite-sized. Set up a wellness consult on that phone call. Like, let them know, this is a very valuable service. I can work with people in this way and make suggestions and help you learn how to do it on yourself. When we talk again, let's go ahead and set up a wellness consult. And what's really cool, Bobby, is you could even have 2 other health concerns for your kids ready to go, and we'll look those up as well. So make it a family affair. If they're like, well, I already feel good, this sample's what I want, you could still say, awesome, but let's go ahead and figure out a 90-day plan for you, Aaliyah. Let's figure out a 90-day plan for you. That when we do our wellness plan, where we'll literally map out 90 days of wellness so that you are ready to launch and move forward in your life and really have a new lifestyle that you're working with, clearing out toxins inside your body and inside the home. And you remind them, let's say they want to work on 3 health concerns. You remind them, look, on these 90 days, we can start with 1, and then each month we could add something else in, but I want to make it digestible for you and an awesome experience. The other thing, like I said, is you could remind them you're going to have an opportunity to even look up your families, like your children. We can definitely look at your children's health concerns on your wellness plan. Okay, so samples to a hostess to get her peeps in the door. So here's some odd pictures I forgot to take off. But anyways, this is really important because remember how I said at the beginning, if you don't get people an experience, they don't cross the line of coming to the class or coming to the event or party. So getting them a sample is really important. And that means you might need to supply your hostess. Like if you're having a home gathering, I would, reach out to her and say, what are some common samples that I could get to you before the party that you could make sure your friends and family get so they have an experience. And that's why it's so awesome if you get the back end doTERRA ones like On Guard, Breathe, and Digestin, because those are 3 really common blends that if you gave your hostess 5 of those packets prior to the event, it will get her guests to cross that line and get to the event. Other opportunities to sample to get an event or an enrollment would be raffles are great ways to sample or do extra ways of promoting other products. Facebook event pages prior to your event. So on your event page that you're going to set up with your hostess, you could, prior to the event for the days right prior, let's say 3 days prior, you could do a raffle of having people comment after they watch a short video that whoever comments first, I'm going to give you a gift at the event. So they know they win when they are on the Facebook event page because they interacted with you and you say you won. And then you could say, okay, well, you can pick it up at the event. So that also gets them to the class because they want to pick up their gift that they just won. Lastly is studies. The first study I just did where I literally sent out samples with Andrea's help and Kay's help was with Serenity. I haven't seen just yet an enrollment from that of the 4 people, but I do find in my track record, everyone I ever sample ends up getting an account. So I need to write up that study, and I'm going to be, talking to them about it in more depth when I have it all written out, and I will intend that the enrollments happen then. If you don't follow up or set up an appointment with the samples, you are throwing away money and potential customers, okay? So don't do that. And yes, I know we have big hearts and we want to give, and I can speak to this even though this slide is talking to me. I am this person, I have thrown away tons of money in that way of just giving out samples without a follow-up appointment. Definitely in the beginning of this business. I just gave them away and was like, oh, I'm giving and loving and I like to give to people. It comes back somewhere. And it does, but this is a business. It's not a hobby anymore for me. So when I give a sample, I'm going to follow up. Inviting, make it personal. Include a sample to get them into door. That just means make it a phone call, a written invitation that you send in the snail mail, something very personal, a conversation. Conclusion, sampling is the life of your business. Sample weekly, or on certain days, make it a point so that you have some in your purse, and for the week to intend to draw to you those people who need those samples that you made up. Do text blasting or text blitzing for those who commit to host a party with you at a home or a Facebook event. You will give them something, like reach out every Friday or every Tuesday, mark it off in your scheduled calendar that says, I am going to text blast on this day at this time. And for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, however long you want it to be, you commit to texting that whole time and generating some conversations, especially around others hostessing classes at their home or on a Facebook event, which I'm going to complete our class in just a moment about. And then I'm going to come back to this slide to hear what you guys have to say of any other suggestions. So I was super excited last week because I watched, where is it? I watched a class live from Audra, and I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm not going to butcher it. But I watched her class about how to properly do a event on Facebook. And I have led events, and I've gotten some enrollments, but nowhere near the amount that I would like. So this is really awesome, and I wanted to share with you guys. Last week I wanted to share with you, but I promised out of consideration for Audra, and this was also running in another group. They were having a challenge, and their challenge just ended yesterday, so I'm now launching and sharing these ideas with you. But this is tips for a successful Facebook event, and it says Audra with Alasa making some notes, and I'm trying to, there we go. So tips, we always do these events that I'm going to talk about with 3 hosts, at least 3 hosts, meaning you're going to do a live Facebook event on a private event page. So you set up the private event page, and you're going to set it up before you invite anybody with 3 hosts or more. So we can do this together, and actually Tasha and I are going to do one together, and I'm going to invite Kay in on that, and Tadika has already agreed to help out. So you can do these together, which is one method, but really the method that I'm speaking to is 3 hosts of people who are not already in the business. So myself and right now, Tasha, we're going to go ahead and search for 1 to 2 additional people to host this class with us on Facebook. And those are people that possibly don't even have an account yet. Or maybe they just got an account and you reach out to them and say, hey, would you like to get your oils paid for? If you do a Facebook event with me, it's only going to be like 30 minutes. But if you do a Facebook event with me and you invite 5 people and they attend, I will give you a gift. And whatever's in your budget, you give that hostess a gift, just like a home gathering. The key here, though, is make sure your hostesses that are going to work with you on this give personal invitations to those 5 people they're going to invite. Okay, so that doesn't mean make a private Facebook event page and then your hostess doesn't even talk to her 5 people. She just adds 5 people. We don't want, people to be invited without a personal invitation and them agreeing that, sure, I would love to be added to that event on Thursday at 1. This way, that's like getting them over the line. This is one more way of getting them over the line with a Facebook event. Okay, so this is awesome. You have potential of 15 new people that have never been, presented doTERRA to be on this Facebook event that you're going to have with 3 hostesses, and this could possibly get them their next month's oils paid for with the commission checks. That's awesome. And let me tell you how you're going to run it, though, okay? You're going to keep it so simple. It's going to be simple 1 to 2 minute videos and Facebook Live videos that are 1 to 2 minutes. So what Audra suggested is that you in your Facebook Live videos, you're going to share the contents of whatever kit that you're going to be marketing on that Facebook event. So let's say you're doing a natural solutions kit. That means that you would do very short 1 to 2 minute videos, Facebook Live videos of, and she says to do about 5 of them. So if you did 2 minute max of 5, that's 10 minutes of Facebook Lives. And you do them on the contents of whatever kit you're really marketing. So that means for natural solutions, you're going to really point to those contents. And you can literally just read about on the bottle what the contents, is in them or what it says to do, as well as if you already worked with that product that you're talking about in the very short videos, you're going to go ahead and offer your own personal testimonies to that product, okay? She also adds that she wants you to put 3 additional videos in, and I'll make sure I'll adjust this slide before I post it. But she wants you to put 3 additional videos that are what are essential oils, and these are very short 2-minute videos from doTERRA Corporate. So if you go to doTERRA.com or you Google doTERRA and videos on what is an essential oil is one of the videos that she suggests to put that are not a Facebook Live, that's a corporate made video. And the other one is why doTERRA. And then the third one is how to use the essential oils, aromatic, topical, and internal. And that way you have a little bit of some high quality, only 3 corporate made videos, and they're beautiful, they're really well done. And then your other 5 videos are just going to be you sharing about the contents of that kit. And again, all of these 8 videos I'm talking about are under 2 minutes. So that's, again, you're at 8 videos, 2 minutes. That gets you to 16 minutes, okay? So in between these videos, you're creating conversations. If you're finding that someone needs to be pulled up into a private message, you already start private messaging them that, hey, I'm going to contact you after this event. Otherwise, most of your commenting will come in the Facebook Live feed, where you literally, say, does anybody have any questions? And you let them type a question and you keep speaking to that. But then you make sure that you stop at 2 minutes so that you don't fire hose them and give them too much information. They digest it. And in between each Facebook Live video, you can pop up like a slide if you want to have a take-home point about the topics that you just discussed, or you could interweave those other videos like I talked about from doTERRA. Why use doTERRA? What is an essential oil? As well as how to use them aromatically, topically, or internally. So these are, it's kind of choppy, and you post all of this on the private Facebook event page that you invited to the people to the event in the first place. Okay, so I will actually make a script of all of this and post it on this class on the doTERRA page, just so it's really clean and you could see when do you pop in this video, what do you talk about now, etc. So to recap, you do your 3 doTERRA corporate videos, your 5 Facebook Live content videos, and at the very end, you can say, I'm going to do 1 more Facebook Live now. Anybody have any questions that I didn't speak about? We can go ahead and make your own kit. Can you shut that door all the way? We can go ahead and make your own, build your own kit. So if the kit that I'm speaking to did not actually meet all your needs, let's go ahead and figure what else you're needing. Go ahead, tell me now what you would like me to talk about in the next Facebook Live video. So they can, type in, I want you to talk about diabetes, which is another reason you can have it be a private event so that you're not having to worry so much about compliance. However, you can still steer them into compliant language as you answer them. And you say, oh, sure, we can talk about pancreatic health. Excuse me. You can use coriander. You can use basil. Okay? And you do that last Facebook Live video, which would be number 6 Facebook Live video, would really go into any special conversations about, what are some other things that did not get talked about for those people who are really invested in this class or watching it. They're eager. They, it's like a commercial happens when you end each Facebook Live video, and you're not just talking for a straight half hour, okay? And some other tips that she says is that you only invite sample people. So I didn't really speak so much to that, but like get your hostess some samples, just like a home gathering. See if you can get samples to those people who he or she is going to invite. And then you want to also share your why when you're talking to them on the Facebook Live. Make sure that very beginning one includes your why you're doing this. Maybe a very short testimony about what got you into it. Hopefully the kit you're going to talk about has that oil in it or that remedy in it, so it can be really kind of naturally brought up in those 5 2-minute Facebook Live videos. And the third thing says share 5 short 1 to 2 minute Facebook Live videos talking about parts of the kit you're sharing. And not Nyla, but Audra literally just read the box of her kit that she ordered. That's how she led these for a while. Keep saying kit. Have you chosen your kit? If you haven't chosen your kit, don't worry. At the very end, we're going to build kits. That's also something she recommends saying. She also never says enrollment or membership. She's very clear on that. She just feels for her business, she watched people not respond to her when she was saying enrollment and membership, whereas I might love the community aspect of this. She feels that people online doing shopping, they just want wholesale prices. So she says to tell them, hey, you're going to get wholesale prices like me. Keep saying that. You're going to get wholesale prices just like me. Remind them they can build their own kit. We talked about that. Ask questions, get them commenting, and get them engaged. Super important. So to set up your event, when you go to the Facebook area, you go to event. It'll say create on the top right corner, a little button with a plus sign. When you get to the where area, Audra suggests that you don't put your hometown, like don't let it pull up your address. Make sure you type in that it's going to be on Facebook at this event page so that they know where to go to watch it, as well as when the event starts to happen, Facebook does send them a reminder because they are going to the event. So make sure they push going, that they're going to the event. When you're typing in that, Facebook where, that it's on at Facebook at this event page, at the very bottom when you scroll down, it'll give you an area to click where you're literally making that up, because otherwise it's going to try to auto pull up different addresses matching your words that you're writing. Okay. So when do you make this event? Well, you want to create urgency. And so as soon as you have your 3 hostesses, you want to then make your event 3 to 5 days later so that you get people engaged and they're invited. They know they're going. Their hostess personally talked to them about it and they are ready to go. So they don't want to wait a long time for this event to happen. So during that 3 to 5 day window before your event starts, it's really important that you get them engaged, do a Facebook Live, offer 3 raffles that say, hey, those who attend are also going to win something. Do something that engages them prior to the event on that event page. It also gets them used to going to that event page when it's actually time for the event. They know that that event page exists. People who are, brand new to Facebook could get a little lost if they are not, properly showed. And you create your event page, have your host invite only. Don't personally invite a ton of your friends to it. Really make it about the hostesses, friends, those 3 groups of people. And if you can get more hostesses than 3, go for it. Remember, a confused mind says no. So keep it so simple and don't fire hose people. If you think about it, if you are giving them way too much information and you see their eyes glaze over, they're going to tell you no, typically, because they just don't understand. It seems too overwhelming, to even think about everything you're sharing with them. So keep it so simple. And that's why Audra says if you really stick to this method of 2-minute videos, they are super engaged. They love watching you. They love your enthusiasm, and they can't wait for you to jump back on. You want to authentically speak slowly with integrity and honesty. Make sure your education and connection are long lasting. Share about how to order at the very end, and about the opportunity very simply. Like, don't forget to share that, hey, if you want to get your oils paid for and have a Facebook event gathering like this with your friends and be able to, get some commissions for it, I would love to talk to you afterwards about this. Let me know. And yeah, if some of you are interested in a business opportunity, this is my full-time business. So I would love to share with you as well. Please let me know. Enjoy your life from your own home. This is my goal. I have done tons of home parties. I have done tons of classes. And my biggest dream, it's all about living the dream. My biggest dream most recently was to live on the beach again, which I do. And now it's to be here more often and to teach at home from my own computer. So these Facebook events really speak to my heart. I'm intending that they're super successful. Audra says that she has about a 70%, maybe a little higher. It was like 70 to something, success rate of enrollment. So that's awesome. Create actions, offer and set up appointments after your event in a private message, and make sure you're offering the wellness plan that's what you're going to go over. So make your education and sharing a 5-star experience. Woo! So I'm going to unmute the line, or actually I'm not. You can unmute yourself. If my next thing I want to talk about to end our call today was just a roundtable. If each of you could share with me your most successful way of sampling and inviting, if I did not talk about it, or if I did talk about it just to kind of high five. Go ahead and share. Andrea?
Hey there. There is a couple of things that I even jotted them down just as like, I don't know, just to have my brain re-hear them again and, see them on my new whiteboard. But a block for me was, of course, like getting their contact information. And if the very first thing you say is these are valuable to me and I spent my own money on them, that's all that you really need to say. But for whatever reason, it took me such a long time to even do that. So I just wanted to highlight that if there's anyone else who might feel like they have a block or struggling in that area. And then the contact card is huge. That's an amazing idea. I started using that, what was that, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and highly recommend it, right? Because then it kind of almost forces you to get either their email. Obviously, the goal is to get their phone number. But those are 2 things that have truly stuck out to me in like the last month or so.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah. What did you want me to share?
Any sampling or inviting that you find to be like important that you, because you see it work so awesome?
The only thing I can share on my perspective with what I do, because I have another business going full time, that I'm incorporating now, and I'll have better feedback for everyone, is I'm doing a raffle with clients that work with me on my other business that do not even know about my oil adventure yet. So I opened up the door after a couple years of really wondering how I was going to do this. And I set up a flyer and sent it to a lot of my clients, and they actually gave me a response and started entering my raffle. So yeah, once a month I'm going to be pulling names, and they're all excited, and we'll see how it goes. So if anybody else has another business, whether you're a massage therapist and you work on newbies, you might want to have them enter a raffle and just, start a raffle with everybody that comes in that you work on.
That's awesome. Perfect.
All right, that's about it.
Thank you. And how about Tasha?
I think that's a great idea, Kay, that you just gave, because a lot of the people that I sample because I usually have undivided attention when I'm working on my hygiene patients. Those are
Right.
usually the ones that I can sample the easiest because number one, I already have the trust. We already have a rapport that's been established. And so it's really easy to get those samples to the people. But man, what a great idea. In addition to getting the samples to the people, tell them that they're going to be entered in a raffle and that they have to check back in onto my site.
Yeah.
That's
Do a flyer and maybe give it to them when they're out at the receptionist desk getting, checking out, and have them, on your flyer where to respond, what email, and what, I can send you a sample of my flyer, and that way you can see, I gave them categories that they could pick from.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and then they just go to my email address that I gave them and I told them to put in the subject line raffle, so that way I knew when I got an email and it was for that particular rather than the other business. And then I just cut their name and put it in a bowl, and then once a month I announce who the winner is. So
that's great. That's awesome.
Good
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's really, me, that's the key I feel to sampling with me is that I need to create that trust. And I think when that trust is created, I think my samples are most successful. So and I'm sure you guys all know that already.
Yeah, you're right. So all the people that work with me from, I've been doing this business for like 21 years. So they all know me. They know my personality via email, but they trust me. And so with you, all the clients that you work on, you just have that flyer done up or something and say, hey, this is, I do this as well. Enter my raffle. And
that sounds great.
Yeah, and you don't have to say much. It'll be all on that flyer when they take it and peruse it at home.
That's a great idea. I know I need to get ink for my printer. I was just telling Alasa today, that's like a goal for the next couple days to get ink for my printer. And then I'll do that stuff. That's great.
All right.
Awesome. And Andrea, are you there?
Yeah, I just had a question. What was the app or thing that you were using to make your business cards for?
Oh, yes. It's
Over. Okay.
Over, and the other one that I use, Over was actually a cost. The one that I use that's free was called Fonto.
Yeah, I tried that one. I didn't really like it too much. So
yeah, that's why I got Over.
Yeah. Okay, and then basically I sample at work for the most part. It's just, getting that contact, making sure that we're continuing to contact those people and calling them afterwards. I did also sample do the Serenity with one of my clients who sent me his feedback because he has insomnia, but it didn't have as good of results as obviously I had hoped.
Right.
So I'm, obviously looking for something else that might help with that.
Vetiver would be good to also sample him maybe. Vetiver is like my last go-to, but it almost for me creates too deep of a sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pass that on if that doesn't work. Sometimes Vetiver will be the winner, as well as putting a little bit more on could be too diluted.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Andrea put Try Balance and Serenity at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, really, so all of the sampled experience as well when we do raffles, again, it's creating that trust and that relationship. So keeping communication going, as well as how can you definitely get an appointment with them, even if it's a raffle, to do a wellness plan, and making sure you don't do it over the phone, but that you use this Zoom is a great one, because you literally can pop up things and share your screen with them, as well as seeing people face to face. If you are doing things from your computer, is really powerful. And then if you are, like Andrea at the massage establishment, get them in for a half-hour free wellness plan. Have them come in earlier, or make a 1 day a week that maybe you could, in between a slower day, add some half-hour wellness plans with people. Sweet. Well, thank you everyone for being willing to share. This is my goal at the end of these trainings, is that we really can also bring up any of your ideas, because that's what the nature of this business is. Just like we are the marketers for doTERRA, where they don't hire, big advertising people. That's not, we are the advertisers. Same thing with this business. We are the educators, and each of our ideas really helps each other. Not to mention that we're in quantum times of things constantly changing and upgrading. So, what might have worked for network marketers for a really long time, we have a whole new, millennials that are coming out, and they are all social media people. They predict, so much of those who are in their 20s now and that become, adults of more, 30s and 40s and 50s as they move on in their life. They're going to be doing a lot of their shopping online, as well as a lot of their advertising that they go ahead and take a bite at comes from social media. So we've got to stay ahead and stay a part of the times that are happening. And again, it's going to be our right now experiences that we need to figure out and then share with those who are going to draw to us in the coming years of other leaders. So have an awesome day, and I will see you all next week for part 3 of 7 weeks of training.
Thank you. Bye-bye.